Hello, everyone. I am Kim Jacobs, and I have Miss Cheron Porter here. How's
Hi.
Hi. Listen, we're gonna have a great time here on the Kim Jacobs Show. I've already got to know Cheron briefly in the back office, so I'm excited to be able to introduce her to you all today. Listen, as you come into the studio, you know the routine. Go ahead and grab your virtual seats. If you have something to eat or whatever, feel free to eat during the show and grab your beverage and make sure that you come to the microphone. You know the routine. We have a flash round. If you have any specific questions that you'll have for my guest, make sure you get prepared to ask your questions. Share this broadcast with your friends, your family, your coworkers. Go ahead and take a moment and do that now, right from the beginning. So, Cheron, this is an opportunity if you are a friend of mine on Facebook that you could share today's broadcast with your friends and followers as well. And not from the device that you're on. Don't touch that.
Listen, right now I am locked and loaded on you, Kim.
That's all that matters.
And I'm hoping that the folks on my team are doing what they're supposed to do. That's what I'm hoping.
every time I tell people to share it, and if they touch the screen they're on, it's like, what happened?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, we're not doing that. I'm not moving. I'm trying to stay still and everything.
I absolutely love it. Absolutely. Okay, so that's so funny that you said that because I was hoping, please don't touch that screen. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to introduce my lovely guest. Cheron Porter is a senior vice president of public relations for VP-INLIVIAN and recently led the agency's renaming and rebranding campaign after being known as the Charlotte Housing Authority for 80 years. She's committed to reducing the stigma and the stereotypes associated with people who need affordable housing. And I'm not going to go through every detail because then that's going to take away from her whole story, which is pretty profound. So I'm going to make sure that you get a chance to hear directly from her. But she's completed a master's degree in public communication at American University and a graduate certificate in real estate development at the University of Maryland, College Park, and a bachelor's degree in mass communications. Girl, I knew I loved you. Guess what? From James Madison University, my alma mater.
Let me find out. Purple and gold. Go JMU Dukes.
Also earned an accreditation in public relations, APR distinction. So please welcome Cheron Porter to the Kim.
Thank you. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to see a JMU Duke doing her thing out here on social media. I love it. Thank you for having us on the list.
Thank you. So now I knew, you know what? I don't even know you, right? And here backstage, we have some mutual friends, and the whole time my cheeks are already like tight from just smiling so hard. So I'm so glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I've been watching your show, so I'm loving it. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're going to jump right in. And now that I know that you graduated from James Madison, you have to take us back a little bit. I know we're going to talk about the rebranding, redesigning, and everything. Well, what you're doing as a vice president. But take us back to your younger years for a minute, because my show is all about balance. How did you balance this person that you are today?
Well, I am from New Jersey, Linden, New Jersey. And I always had an interest in communications. Quite frankly, the Cosby Show had a huge impact on me.
Yeah, everybody.
The Cosby Show, because what it showed me is that the power of the media was those who controlled the media controlled the narrative of everything, and even to the point of how we saw ourselves, right? And so that was, so if you remember when the Cosby Show came on, I remember being in high school when people saying, that's not a real Black family. And it was simply because they had not seen it before. Right. And so which I thought was amazing, that you thought something didn't exist simply because you just hadn't seen it before. And it just wasn't in your community or wasn't in your neighborhood. So I thought that was, you know what I mean? And it's profound when you realize it doesn't exist because you haven't seen it on television. So I knew that box was very important. And then, of course, Queen Oprah came through. Oprah came through and reigned.
It's over.
Exactly. Right. Oprah came and reigned on this little Black girl in New Jersey, right outside of New York. And I'm like, ooh, her power. And I just understood the importance of media and controlling and having different voices at the table. Right? Because I was like, well, you don't even think that's Black, but guess what? I very rarely see a Latino. I very rarely see Asian. And so who's telling those stories? So that's where I got started. And somehow ended up at James Madison University.
Now, okay, wait a minute. Now you've said everything that just connects with my spirit. You said the Cosby Show, which I was glued to. Then you said Oprah. I muted the television and read the closed caption as if I was literally her. It's kind of crazy.
Yes.
Then you said James Madison University, and I was a senior class president at James Madison in 1992. So you're everything. You're everything to me.
You're everything. So when I got to James Madison, I was they had a great communications department.
Yes.
And I mean, they just had some great things going on in general there. And I came in and I was one of those people who was incredibly committed to getting out in 4 years. Let's just be honest. Coming from Jersey to Harrisonburg, Virginia is a culture shock.
Yes.
It's a culture shock. This girl from the North was not prepared.
There's a huge difference. The Valley Mall. I was like, what is the Valley? It's the Valley Mall.
The Valley Mall that had only one level and 3 stores, 3 anchor stores. That was, I wasn't used to that. So all that said, and then I had gotten introduced to Chocolate City while I was in college, and that's Washington, D.C., for those of you who don't know. And that's particularly during that time, that's a life-changing experience.
Yes.
And it's not exactly quite the same today, but in that day, it was quite a driving experience. And I was able to, after college, move to Baltimore. And I got to see African Americans just thriving in every area of professionalism, of politics, in a way that I hadn't seen in my hometown. So it just was inspiring to me. And so communications and being able to tell those stories and then going into working in television, it just became a part of me.
Wow. Now, please don't tell me, did you ever work at WHS TV or?
I did not, because I had, trust me, I wanted to.
Okay, because I worked there.
I had work study. Yeah. No, I had work study. So I was in the Office of Continuing Education making $3 an hour.
Oh yeah, I used to work in the post office and the library and the midnight shift and all kinds of stuff, and it was kind of crazy. But
it was character building.
Yes, very much so.
Very was.
Well, I am so glad that your journey brought you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah. But before we go into what you do here in Charlotte, how do you inspire other young ladies, young girls that have goals and dreams and really don't know how they're going to become a reality? What can you say to encourage them?
Well, first off, you just spoken to my heart, my passion, which is mentorship, right? And so for me, I am empowered because of the great mentors that I had in my life. I had a wonderful mom. I had wonderful aunts. I had a wonderful grandmother who were examples of strong, beautiful women. But in addition, I had Miss Rita Jacobs, who was my 7th grade teacher, who, Lord, I must have wore her out as much time I would stay after school just talking to her, right? So it's just very important to me. Miss Brenda Blassingame Boyd, she was also a huge mentor and impact teacher in my life. And so I live by to whom much is given, much is required. So I'm huge on mentorship, particularly for girls. Mm-hmm. So when I moved to Charlotte about almost 5 years ago now, I got involved with Girls on the Run.
Oh, nice.
I love my girls, and we get them there between 3rd and 5th grade.
Okay.
Right? And so not only in this life, but in, mentorship is just huge to me. It's important that I think young girls see different ideas and different pictures of women. Okay. And they need to be up close to those women, right? Mm-hmm. They need to be in relationship with those women, because it's not even solely what you're teaching them, it's what you're showing them.
Right. Right.
Right. I remember, I know there are some women who had impact on my life that they didn't even know what they were doing for me. It was simply how they carried themselves.
Right.
And that just had, and you know, and my girls, I walk in and I tell them they are beautiful every single day. Right. And I celebrate them every day, because if they're not getting celebrated anywhere in their day or in their life, they know they got it from Coach Cheron. So it's huge to me.
That's interesting that you said that too, Cheron, because, you know, in the back office, I was saying how beautiful you are. I was like, look at your smile. You're so beautiful. And I just think it's so important. You're welcome. I think it's so important for women, even no matter what our age is, to celebrate each other and to embrace each other and to not tear each other down. And you know, we know what can tear our fellow sister down. Whether you know that the person's tearing you down or not. You know, if you're tearing the person.
And we've had life experiences, right? And so I believe in putting that fuel into a young girl. So when she does come across that life experience, because it's going to happen, that where someone tries to knock her down, someone says she can't do it, someone says she's not good enough, that she can remember at some point in her life that I came back and said, but she's beautiful, she's wonderful.
Good.
Yeah, okay. That's important to me.
That's incredible. And I'm glad we've taken some time just to talk about that, because all of the different parents that watch the show, they'll be able to share this broadcast with their young girls, and you can inspire them through what you shared. Now, you are a vice president. Where did we put here? Let me pull it up. You're a vice president. I mean, that's a major accomplishment. Senior vice president. You know, you didn't matriculate it even further. So you're senior vice president of INLIVIAN. Let's talk about the fact that for 80 years, it's not like anything was wrong with what it already was. It was a Charlotte Housing Authority. And so already a great brand, nothing was wrong with it. But here you come along and you all just things up JMU style. Tell us how this whole rebranding happened with INLIVIAN.
Sure. So I want to clarify. I'm just a senior vice president of public relations. I just got one little lane.
Oh, that's right. I understand, but I can put, it's my show. I'll put what I want.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can, honey. I'm not going to stop you. Okay, JMU alum. I'm not going to stop you. So for 80 years, we were the Charlotte Housing Authority, right? And we were founded just after the Great Depression, where people needed a safe and decent housing to live in, right? And so and that's been great, but we've evolved, we've transitioned. We no longer just provide housing. And then let's just be honest, there has been stigma that's been associated with developments in a housing authority. Mm-hmm. So we know historically there was some of our more notorious, the Cabrini Green, right? We saw Good Times based in the Cabrini Green in Chicago, right? We've heard of the Ida B. Wells, or we've heard of the Marcy Projects in New York, right? And there is a stigma that's associated that no matter where you go, if you just hear that someone lives in the quote unquote project, there's a stigma that's attached to that child, or to that family, right? Mm-hmm. And so we know there's the welfare queen stereotype that started back in the 80s, right? And so it has continued for decades on. And so when you have families who are genuinely trying, working families, right, who are working 2 and 3 jobs, who, when they come to the table, all that is heard or all that can be seen is you live in the projects. And that's taking away. It's disheartening. I mean, it takes away sometimes opportunity. Mm-hmm. What it will do is it will diminish someone's spirit. Yes. A child who quote unquote grows up in the projects, right? There is it's stigma. And so we thought about it, and I want to give true appreciation, show where it's deserved, to our board and our leadership, our CEO, and saying, we no longer operate as a traditional housing authority where we just provide housing. No, we don't. We have become very entrepreneurial. We develop new properties. We have client services. We now have life coaches. You understand me? Like, so, I mean, we are in property management.
Yeah.
I mean, we do so much more. And so to limit ourselves and to limit the families that we are so dedicated to serving to a stigma that is unfounded, untrue, and takes away opportunity, and also having a name that truly represents where we are today. The name Enlivian, for those of you who are like, okay, where did this name come from? It comes from the word enliven, to restore life to.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome. To restore, write that Morgan for me too. To restore life to Enlivian. Oh my God.
Yes, to restore life to. And so, and if you see our logo, you'll see it's a circle of houses.
Oh, here, I'm going to show your website right quick, which is going to go over to the side of the screen, but you can talk us through. Let's talk through your website some, and then that way people can get a visual of what you're sharing. Let's see.
Okay, let's see.
And you'll see it as well. Hey, right from the beginning, a key thing. Why is this right here? Get counted in. Tell us about that.
Okay, so first off, that's about the census. So let's just talk about how important the census is, and particularly to the families that we serve, right? We don't get the resources in our communities unless we are counted, right? That is so important for us to get counted in the community. So we are encouraging, we're doing everything that we can, quite frankly, to get people, to our residents, to raise their hand and get counted. I mean, that goes to your school lunches, that goes to healthcare, that goes to roads. If you don't like the way your community looks, or you don't like it, you think nothing ever happens, listen, here is your chance. And so it's really important for us to communicate, and we've had a campaign now for some time, just educating our residents that, you know, it's not like the government is getting in your business. We understand that's a concern. You know, it's just raising your hand so your families can receive the resources that it needs.
That's good. Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. And so and let me just say this, coming from the North, that picture of those apartments, those are our properties, right? That's a beautiful property, right?
That's beautiful. Yes.
Okay, that ain't the projects.
I was like, I don't know if this is a stock image, or, you know, I didn't want to.
These are not stock images. And if you scroll down a little bit more, I think there will be a video, and you can come and see the number of people that we serve. But so there's a couple of commercials that we've done.
Which one do you want me to click on? Any of these?
You can click on the one to the left. The big one with the woman in the yellow and white sweater with the little girl. And so we started this whole campaign, right?
We see someone who needs a good place to live, a place to call home. Your child's teacher, the healthcare worker, the new family, our vibrant seniors, our heroic veterans. At Enlivian, our mission is to provide affordable housing solutions for families. Our Enlivian is your Enlivian. The Charlotte Housing Authority is now Enlivian, housing redefined.
Wow.
So let me tell you a little bit about that commercial, right? And because we needed to, particularly as we were going in this re-education campaign, is that we needed to redefine who needed affordable housing.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna have to stop and go back because I'm not that savvy.
Listen, I understand.
We're gonna go back and reshare it. Okay, but you know what? Do I need to go back? So right now, I'm just going to talk to you.
Yeah, there you go. No, we don't need to go back. Anyone can go to www.enlivian.com. But we did that particular commercial because we needed to change the idea of who needed affordable housing, right? There's this idea that, again, it's the welfare queen. It's the person who doesn't want to work. But the reality is it's getting more and more expensive to live in Charlotte.
Yes.
Yeah, right? You have seniors who are getting older who live on a fixed income. They need a place to live. You have people with disabilities who can't work full time or maybe not be able to work at all. They need a place to live.
Right.
Listen, I have spoken to women who, God bless this woman. She was she escaped a domestic violence situation with her children.
Right, right.
We were able to give her a voucher. She was able to find a place to live. Here's the thing. She ended up getting cancer.
Dang.
Now, cancer raising 3 girls. Having a voucher from us enabled her to be able to focus on her health.
Right.
Give her kids a stability that they needed in a very turbulent time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine someone with that a healthcare challenge like that over their head, trying to worry about where they're going to live?
No.
Right. And so her kids were able to go to school in a great neighborhood. She was able to keep a roof over their head. She was able to get healthy again. She was able to go and finish her degree. This is what we do. And this is, and these are the people that we serve, right?
Right.
And so it's important for us. And we have our veterans.
Okay.
We have many veterans who come back from serving our country, for putting their life on the line for our country, who unfortunately may not come back the same way that they went out.
Of course, of course.
And they need support and they need housing. So we were there we wanted that picture and image to show these are teachers. Let's just be very clear. These are teachers who are vital to our community, to our society, to the development of our children.
Really?
Yeah, their income does not match the growth that's going on here in Charlotte.
That's right. That's right. So basically you're serving, because as I'm hearing you, I don't have any, you already told you I didn't have any pre-scripted questions. So we're just having a conversation here. But it sounds like you're serving the whole person. It can be ranging from veterans to teachers to people that have health issues, the relational issues that thrust them into the need for housing. People from all walks of life is what is senior citizens, people from all walks of life, correct?
Every walk of life. Listen, the person who is working in your post office, in your pharmacy, in your grocery store, because who didn't need the grocery store worker? Backbone of our society. There
are heroes, literally.
They are our heroes.
Literally.
Right? Our CNAs, our certified nurse assistants.
Yeah.
Where are they going to live?
That's right.
Right? They're not making a lot of money, but what they do is essential to our community. And they deserve an opportunity to live and enjoy this great city and all the beautiful things that Charlotte has to offer. They deserve that opportunity to live here in this community as well. And we've got to create opportunities for them.
So walk me through the process. I know when I say me, I'm saying on behalf of my studio audience that's tuned in today. What is the process? Because there are people that are living in some horrific looking housing communities. And I know I personally grew up living in one of those in Newport News, Virginia, and it was not cute. It was not something that anybody that came from outside of that community wanted to park their car and get out of the car and think that they would be safe, because they would not feel comfortable. Even though I lived there and my friends lived there, my other community members, we felt fine. We didn't feel like we were in any, we felt like this is our environment. So we were cool. But any other outside visitor was like, what in the world? So here in the Charlotte area, because she's here in Charlotte, guys, everybody that's watching.
Yes.
Make sure you know that there are housing projects that look like that in Charlotte. So what is INLIVIAN? I don't know where INLIVIAN is, and for people that I know that are in the housing projects. So talk to us.
First off, we have housing developments.
Okay.
We don't have housing projects. We have housing developments.
Educate me, please. Your sister JMU person.
Yes, we don't have housing projects. We have housing developments.
Okay.
Okay. And so the first step, and I'm going to be honest with you, right? I'm going to be completely transparent. The demand is high. The demand is huge, and that's across the country. That's just not here in Charlotte. That's across the country. Now, you put on top of that, Charlotte is one of the most rapidly growing cities in the country.
Yes.
I want to say definitely, absolutely in the top 10, probably still in the top 5.
Okay, right? Can you look that up too, Morgan, to tell me the statistic of where Charlotte is in the country as far as growth rate? Okay, go ahead. Sure.
And so when you have all these people who are kind of descending on this city, and there are Charlotte stands at a need of 34,000 affordable housing units. Now that was according to the Shetty study that came out about 2 years ago. Okay. 34,000 units were needed. So we know we already have that gap, right? Mm-hmm. And then we have people who are living here who are getting priced out. The demand is high, and we are funded through HUD, and we are given a limited amount of money. And so unfortunately, there are those who think, oh, well, you should just help this person, that person. Listen, we've not been given more money in 40 years, and we are trying to make, $1 out of 15 cents. Right. And so we're doing what we can. And so that's why we become very entrepreneurial. And we figured out ways to create income streams that will help us to continue to serve families. Okay. So I say all that to say that the first thing that they can do is, one, they can go to our website and they can look for properties that may suit them. Right. Or in areas of town that might suit them. Now, we have some availability at our properties, and we also have something what's called a housing choice voucher. A voucher, some people might know it as Section 8. Okay. A Section 8 voucher, which essentially allows you to take, we have a rent subsidy, so we contribute to your rent. But you can move to anywhere you want in the city, right? You can move to anywhere, or in the county, quite frankly, in the country.
Oh, wow.
Okay? That's what it enables you to do. It becomes the housing choice, right? And so what we find is that sometimes the way some municipalities have worked over years is that they have concentrated low-income people together. Mm-hmm. That's, to your point, is not good for those who are living in that community, nor the surrounding community, to your point that you made. And so this creates an opportunity for them to move to a different community where they can give their child a different opportunity, different education, different experiences, and have different amenities. And so that is what we do. And you can go to our website. Anyone who's interested, go to www.inlivian.
Well, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go there again because I want to see something.
Wait. I'm going to say, hold on. Don't go there just yet because I have my team working on a new project on there. So I don't want you to pull up an error page. So let me say this. If it's not right today, they're working. I've been texting this morning. If it's not right today, it should be right tomorrow.
But when you all get a chance, make sure you go and see all of the different properties that are available on INLIVIAN.com. And here's the website. So, and as you can see, it's constantly evolving. So, and upgrading as well. So keep in mind that if you see anything that looks like a glitch, it's only because it's being over the next like 24 hours.
Yes.
Hey, now I work for INLIVIAN, right? Now it's like, hi, I'm Gail Jacobs and I work for INLIVIAN. You're like,
we love it. We love it. Thank you. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the team. We're happy to have you.
That's funny. But make sure you all check it out because you don't want to miss out on these opportunities that are afforded to community members that may be currently living in housing projects, or you may be somewhere that
development.
No, I'm saying that's Cheron. That's only a JMU person that would. As the PR person in me, I get so sensitive and I hear the projects. Oh Lord Jesus, no, not the projects, not the projects. I'm in the let me pull in the reins for a second. I'm in the process as the host of the Kim Jacobs Show. Okay?
Yes, you are.
I'm in the process of just simply making a point, and the point was going to be to the favor of INLIVIAN, but now I've lost my thought.
I'm so sorry. That was knee-jerk reaction. Please forgive me. Let me just go ahead and sit back and be a good guest again. I apologize.
Okay, let me see. What was I going to say? What I was going to say, I think, is that, you know what, if you're in a situation where you are currently living in a housing project and you're not satisfied with your living arrangements or where you and your family currently reside, know that INLIVIAN has an opportunity for housing development opportunities where you can have a new lifestyle for your family and new surroundings that you can be invited to be a part of by just checking out INLIVIAN.com and seeing what your options are. Now you got me thrown off. I can't even say it straight.
Listen, you did great. You did great. I'm a bad guest. I got it.
Thank you so much for letting me get my thought out. Okay, let's see. Also, your video did something weird for us. Okay, Charlotte is, here it is right here. Morgan typed this in for me. And this is where she got the statistic as well. She said in 2019, the ninth fastest growing largest city in America is the ninth largest growing city in America. So keep that in mind, everyone. And I did put that up there. Thank you, Morgan. Morgan is a student at NC State University, and she's been interning with me, and I'm so grateful. I have her for a little bit more time, so I'm honored to have her on board. Thank you. All right, so we're going to go to some of the studio audience questions and comments, Cheron, and you'll get a chance to answer those as well. So guys, go ahead and start typing. I know you wait until I say that, so I'll give you a minute or two to type your questions, your comments. This is you stepping up to the microphone and getting Cheron Porter the opportunity, Senior Vice President and Public Relations at INLIVIAN, to be able to address your concerns, questions, and just your comments that you may have. Let me let you know too that I would love for you all to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show. I am doing my very best to provide guests like Cheron and other wonderful guests that speak to the whole person, things that are real, relevant, and relatable to what you may be dealing with as a studio audience member. So if you're enjoying the shows that you're seeing, take a moment to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show. It's right on YouTube is where I need you to go. So Cheron, tell all of your team members and everyone you know to subscribe today after the show to the Kim Jacobs Show on YouTube. And turn on your notifications, please. All right. So let's see here. Yes. So anyway, I'll make sure that we go to the, let me get the subscription pulled over. I'm used to typing, but since I have Morgan, she's typing for me. So I'm so happy. Let me put that in the chat thing. We're going to go ahead and go to our round here. Let's see. Miss Wanda Audrey said, good morning. I'm watching.
Good morning, Wanda.
My mom is Ella Spradley. She said, good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Miss Ella.
And you actually said mentorship is so important. And it's one of the comments that you made.
Yeah.
INLIVIAN is to restore life to. I actually just absolutely love that.
Yeah, that was that. I'm going to tell you, coming up with a new name, particularly for an organization that was 80 years known as one thing only, and really departing from that was a bold move. I can't lie. And so we did a lot of research. And again, I have to give kudos to our board and our CEO for giving me the resources to really put it on. And actually, I don't think I mentioned what we actually ended up doing is we won a national award for our branding campaign. Yes, I mean, so that's been exciting for us for all of that hard work. You know, I mean, but trust me, there were about 500 names before we got to INLIVIAN.
That's a really, really great one. So congratulations. Yeah. And what is the award that you all received? Your national?
So we received the National Association of Government Communicators. We received 2 awards, Awards of Excellence, which is #first place, Awards of Excellence for branding campaign and for graphic design. And we are in contention for about 3 more awards.
And I'm sure you guys are going to win those awards too, because everything that we shared on the website looks so clean and inviting and welcoming. And then if they get the opportunity to meet the Vice President of Public Relations, they're going to feel right at home after that. As long as you're not telling them to say.
Listen, as long as they don't go to the project. Listen,
don't go to the projects.
We are not.
But no, it's a beautiful thing that INLIVIAN is actually offering an alternative to project existence and saying, hey, we're here for you to get you a whole new outlook on life, new living experience, new branding in your own personal lives. I love it. Yeah. I love it. You also, let me ask this. You said that you all do some specific coaching with people. What does that look like?
So our client services department, and which is why we are key, and it's that we no longer operate as a housing authority. Like, we provide wraparound services that help families move from poverty to prosperity, quite frankly. And so a part of that is by having what we used to call caseworkers. Well, all of them have gotten trained and they've become official life coaches, like official designation training. They are all official life coaches, right? So when we are trying to help families who are trying to move up, create opportunities, they need real help. And this landscape, post-COVID, post-George Floyd, I mean, we all know what the challenges have been, but they've changed a lot, right? Because COVID has a whole nother layer of our healthcare, many have lost jobs, and those are the people we serve. And so we want to help them and continue to support them to move through this journey despite what's going on in the world, right? They need to be able to move forward, and we needed to have the skills to make sure that they could achieve their best. Wow. And that's we're committed to. We are committed to the family. We are committed to the family really breaking the cycle of poverty.
I love this. I love INLIVIAN. This is and so people that are interested in being able to apply to be considered, is it a very strenuous process, or is it kind of like easy, or what's the process?
So it's not difficult at all. So all of our residents have a caseworker. And so all they need to do is raise their hand and say, I would like some additional help. I would like some additional, and we help map out short-term strategies, long-term strategies. We're helping families become homeowners. I think we've helped at least 10. I know by June, I think the number's gone up. Families become homeowners.
Okay.
So we are committed. We are absolutely committed to this, right? I mean, so when they become homeowners, they go through credit counseling, they go to financial budgeting, because once you get in the house, we want you to stay in the house. How many of us have not had the best financial literacy education?
That's right.
A lot of us have, right? And so when we get the opportunity, we want you to be able to stay and thrive, right? Because still, no matter what anyone says, having a home and owning a home is the part of the American dream. But what it does, it creates stability. It also creates a legacy, because now your kids have a place to live, and their kids, should they never want to leave, right? Or if you pass on, you can will that down to your heirs, right? Or you can sell it and you can have equity, right? We are creating opportunities when we do that.
I just typed up with you. Morgan typed this up. The National Association of Government Communicators Award of Excellence for Branding, Campaign, and Graphic Design. And they are also thank you, Morgan. That's a lot to type.
Thank you. Thank you, Morgan. I appreciate it. Our team appreciates it.
Yes. And they are up for 3 additional awards. So they're not only helping you work to get housing where you can go beyond just renting, but home ownership. Each of their caseworkers, which are not called caseworkers, they're life coaches.
Yes. So
please, Cheron, when you let me make a point, I get it out properly,
I'm going to tell you something. We've got a mutual friend, and I'm going to hear a lot about this later, I promise.
Let me go to, oh my goodness. Okay, let me go here. Tina Vick is in Newport News, Virginia, and I am super excited that she's on today, and she's doing tremendous work. And if I'm not mistaken, Tina, I think you're the mayor, if I'm not mistaken, or I know you're something big, because I stay connected with you on Facebook. She's Michael Vick's aunt, and she is just a force to be reckoned with. She does
Miss Tina.
Tremendous work in Newport News, in the inner city area and the entire area. So thank you for being in the studio audience today, Tina. And here you've met your match over here, Cheron Porter. So she's doing great work too. And between the two of you guys, make sure you connect, because she's doing some tremendous work in Newport News, revamping everything. And Tina, I want to have you as a guest on the show as well. Oh, city council. I done made her the mayor. That's why you should be here. I don't even care. Whoever the mayor, great. God bless you. But Tina Vick, Should be the mayor of Newport News. See, you see what I'm saying, Cheron? I'm over here saying now the woman, the mayor.
Listen, aspiration, we speak things into existence.
That's right. This is my topic. Yes, this is definitely right down her lane. So I'm so glad that you're on today. Man, see, I could bring her on too. I'll bring you on anytime you want to come on too.
Anytime you want to have me.
How long is the waiting list? Someone wants to know.
Well, I think right now, listen, I'll be honest, demand is absolutely high. And I'm going to be honest, there's several thousand on the waiting list, and the waiting list is actually closed. And this is why the waiting list is closed. If you have anywhere from 7,000 to 10,000 people on the waiting list, and people aren't able to move out that quickly of our communities, or with the voucher, right? They don't, it takes some time to move out of the need.
Mm-hmm.
There are only so many spaces that open up a year.
Right.
I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. And so we don't keep the waiting list open just to add people to a list that's just never going to end.
That's a good point.
Right.
So how do people get housing if the waiting list is that long?
Oh, no, we have apartment communities. Now we do have apartment communities that do have vacancies. Oh. So the waiting list is specifically for the Housing Choice Voucher Program that allows you to go anywhere you want and live. Now we do have communities that do have vacancies. Now some are filled, but some do have vacancies. So it's just a matter of checking out what community best suits your needs, and if they have a vacancy that fits your family size.
This is good. Thank you, Gail, for that question. And I'm grateful for that answer too, Cheron, because what you're saying is that there are openings in different pockets of your housing development.
Yes.
Talk a little slower so that I don't slip up and say something from my roots, from where I grew up. But based on the housing development that you all have already developed, there are different vacancies that people can get slotted into right away.
Yes. And then let me also say, we're also developing new properties. So just last week, we had a groundbreaking for something called Evoke at Westerly Hills, which will be another affordable housing community. We have a huge development that's going to go up at the corner of 8th and Cheron in Uptown Charlotte. We own what's called a former hotel called Hall House. I'm sorry, it used to be called the Barringer Hotel. Then we transitioned into Hall House. Mm-hmm. But if you've ever been up, 8th and Cheron, there's all kinds of development is going to go on uptown, and we have prime real estate right there. And guess what? We're going to have affordable housing. We're going to have retail. We're going to have market rate. So we're here to create options for everyone in the housing spectrum.
I am so impressed with INLIVIAN. This is incredible.
Thank you. We're excited. We are truly passionate about this. This is not a game to us. We are truly passionate about this.
Oh yeah, no, I can tell. I can tell you're so, and it's so many people I'm actually thinking about that are a part of our church and people that are even in my family, and different people that I'm going to send them your way, and we can see what can happen, because you never know. I'm a big believer, Cheron, that you never know what can happen unless you ask.
Absolutely. What's the old saying? Closed mouths don't get fed.
No. But if you're living somewhere, listen, everybody, and I know this is not an infomercial. So, it's literally a guest that's on my show today that I'm honored to have, and to be able to share the services that they're offering. And they didn't have to pay to be on the Kim Jacobs show, just so everyone knows. This is not some paid advertisement or anything. This is an opportunity for us to share something that I really, truly believed in, as I heard about this guest, that could help change some of my viewers' lives. And so that's why I brought INLIVIAN Senior Vice President of Public Relations on to the Kim Jacobs show. And so take advantage of the opportunities that's being shared. Sometimes we just don't even know what to do because we don't even know about it. So here is a great opportunity for you, if you're watching the Kim Jacobs show today, to learn more about INLIVIAN.com and make sure you learn how to apply and get considered for one of these beautiful housing opportunities.
Yes, and
housing development opportunities. Okay. All right. So here we have a great topic, Nefertira said. Great topic.
I mean, we are, and again, I have to thank you again for having us. And we want to get the good news out, because people, that waiting list question, I'm so glad someone asked, because we get asked that all the time. Because again, there's this belief that we have an unending amount of money to help everyone who's in need. And the reality is we don't, right? We are funded by HUD, and we haven't gotten any increase in just about 40 years. So you think about that, and you don't see HUD out here building any new communities, right? But that demand is getting higher and higher. So we've had to evolve, and we just had to think about new ways that we can continually serve. And this 8th and Cheron community that we're about to develop, because we will have an opportunity to create income as a result of owning it and having the development and having retail. We will be able to fill in the gaps where the government is not, so that we can continue to serve these communities for generations to come. And that's what we're thinking about now.
So I love that, but you're saying you're constantly evolving and innovating and coming up with new entrepreneurial ways to survive. What are some of the things that you all are doing to be able to continue to serve the community? If the money is not there for 40 years, that's a long time not to get additional funding.
Listen, we become very innovative, right? So what then becomes important is, how do we help families out of poverty? I mean, that's right. It's got to be from, right, because we've got to be able to create the space.
Right. Okay. So actually, oh, so I get it now. I wasn't fully connecting the dots. What you're saying is that you all, because of the life coaching and the training that your staff is providing, as now they're all like official life coaches instead of caseworkers, they're training and imparting and pouring into these individuals that to change the mindset, so that they can kind of cycle out of the system and open up opportunity for new residents.
Absolutely.
Good.
That's just one of the strategies that we do, right? Because we want to break this cyclical poverty, generational poverty. We've got to break it. One, it's just not good for a family. But two, we've got to create opportunities for other people to move in. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter, right? And so we have educational programs. So there's another commercial that'll be on our site, that is on our site, and we don't have to go to it now, where there was a young lady who, she was a young mother, but she came in, she lived in one of our communities, and she went through all programs, and we helped her get through law school. She's a lawyer now, okay?
Yes. Oh my God.
She's a lawyer with a practice uptown.
Oh my God.
Okay. Yes, we have scholarship funds, right? So we're helping kids in college, these kids who live in our community. We're helping them to move on to great things. There's a Larry Mims. Well, that's his. I'm sorry, No Limit Larry.
My full government name.
The government name. My bad. I'm so sorry. That's not what I said, Kim. That's not what I said. I said No Limit Larry. And so of the Morning Madhouse, you know, he is someone who used to live in one of our communities, and look where he is. And not only is he doing very well in his career as a morning show host DJ, he also gives back to his community, right? Consistently throughout the year. We have other business leaders that have come out of our communities, right? And so again, this is about breaking the cycle of poverty, right? And creating opportunities. So everything that we do. So that's just how we help the individual and the family. But yes, then we have the development side, right? And the development where we were able to create income streams, right? Because we're not getting any more money. Right. And so when we create income streams, we can continue to serve. Because let's just think about it. If you are a person and you can have what's called 30% of the area median income. Okay. What that essentially means is that a family of four living off of $16,000 a year on the low end. Hear what I said? A family of four living off $16,000 a year. If they come into one of our properties, listen, and they have to contribute to their rent, right? Yeah. What's affordable to them? Well, then here's the deal. How does that property get maintained? Right? Because you have a home, you know, plumbing goes up, HVAC goes up, roof needs to be repaired, windows.
Yeah.
Right? And so we have to have multiple streams of income so we can continue to house that family.
Wow.
Right? Because they can't contribute to it.
That's right.
Right. I mean, so we've got to be very innovative, and that's what we're always thinking about. And, you know, again, kudos to our board and our CEO for really always thinking beyond the box of how we can continue to serve.
I love it. I love it. Let's go to another comment. Lydia Best says, I remember growing up and my sister and I were wanting to live in a housing development. See, she capitalized.
Okay, Lydia. Okay, Lydia.
You have trained my studio audience. She's at the microphone yelling out officially, housing development. In a 2-bedroom house with no indoor bathroom, no indoor water, or central heat or air. We did not qualify, but God got us through.
Yeah. Listen, and God bless Lydia. And there are so many people with those stories. I literally just talked to a mom 2 days ago. Amazing story. And when we talk about the families that we serve, she, college graduate, had a job as an office manager. She was doing fine on her own. That company went out of business. Okay. She gets another job, and that company shuts down. Now, these are through no fault of her own. Now she's really struggling here. Right. She got to get another job. She gets an hourly paying job that makes $4 less an hour than what she was making. Well, guess what? Now she starts falling behind, as anyone would, right?
Yeah,
she told me I had to make a choice between putting gas in my car and eating.
Right.
Now, she was a young lady. What if she was a senior woman?
That's
maybe
right.
who had medication issues, right? It's become very difficult decisions that people have to make. Then, unfortunately, she got into a car accident.
Dog.
Not to her, not her fault.
Of course.
And then she finds out she's pregnant. So here is a woman who is well-intentioned, who is doing, quote unquote, all the right things. She went ahead, she got an education, she's got a good job. But through no fault of her own, she ends up in a predicament. And she needs our housing. And she's got a baby on the way, and she needs some stability.
Yes.
And it took her a while, but finally, because listen, I'm not going to lie, the demand is high.
Right.
And that story can be told hundreds and hundreds of times through this city alone. But eventually, you know, she stayed the course, and she now, she got into one of our communities, and then she got a voucher. And now she lives in South Charlotte somewhere.
Wow.
Now mind you, she still has a voucher and she works in the medical services field. But yeah, her 5-year-old son now has a backyard to play in, good schools. They're taking advantage of the opportunities that we have with our champion, you know, we have a Soul of a Champion, which kind of helps kids with sports. I mean, it's what does my heart well and makes me happy to know that I work for an agency and this is our commitment. This is our service.
Well, you sound very happy to go to work every day. And that's a blessing. That's a blessing in itself to know that what you do, you truly do make a difference in the lives of people.
Yes.
To change the trajectory and the outcome of their entire lives and their family. So you're helping the legacy live on through INLIVIAN. I'm loving it. Housing Development Corporation INLIVIAN. Okay, let's see. Cheron, you are great. And
thank you, Miss Tina. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm speaking into existence bigger things for you, Miss Tina.
You better believe it, for sure.
Yes.
And make sure you go to INLIVIAN.com, and you'll be able to see all of the things and the options, the properties that are available, and the process and the steps. You can learn all of that right through INLIVIAN.com. Cassandra, who you've been able to work with, and Cassandra is wonderful. She says, thank you, Cheron. This is helpful information for our community.
My pleasure.
And now Legacy Larry Lejend says, can you purchase a home through this program?
Yes. Okay. It's called our Destination Home Ownership. Last year, I want to say we helped 19 families become, and by June, I know we were already at 10.
Wow.
Endless. And considering this landscape, because listen, Charlotte is still a hot market. Despite what's going on, it's still a hot market. And so, yes, through our destination homeownership program. Mm-hmm.
And I do want to address, because I don't want to disconnect without you sharing, that you said that there's some things that can happen even outside of the Charlotte area, because not all of my studio audience members, some of them live in other places. So what does INLIVIAN do with people around the country?
So that's what the housing choice voucher does. It allows you to move anywhere. So you could be you can take that voucher, and that's with any housing authority anywhere in the country. If you have a housing choice voucher, it allows you, again, it's a housing choice. It allows you to move. So we have a lot of people, say in other communities, I'll give an example like this, who see the opportunity in Charlotte and say, hey, I want to leave New York and come down to Charlotte with my housing choice voucher. Or you might be in Charlotte and say, you know, I've got family in Atlanta and I just want to live a little closer to my mom and grandmom. For whatever reason, I can take that voucher and move to Atlanta. So that's how this opportunity can go anywhere. But for the greater Charlotte area, anywhere.
Tina Vick says, can you print the name and contact information?
Sure.
Okay, I don't know what that means to you all.
Well, our contact information is INLIVIAN.com, or you can follow us on Facebook at INLIVIAN on Facebook, at INLIVIAN on Twitter, at INLIVIAN on Instagram. The cool thing about having a name you sort of inspired by another word, no one else has the name. So
good. That's a good thing. So if you put
there's no other INLIVIAN.
You're going to get them. That's the beautiful part.
Right. If you go to type INLIVIAN anywhere, you're going to get it. Yeah.
Now, this is going to cover both of our faces, but it's my mom that typed this, so I have to say it. Before I put this comment up, I do want to acknowledge my 83-year-old church mother, Mother Julia Harper. She's on watching. She watches on YouTube, but she doesn't type comments. But just send a shout out to her right quick, please.
Oh, Mother Julia, thank you for joining us. Trust me, I'm going to send this to my 89-year-old Aunt Edie.
Oh, okay. So my mom said projects. Okay, now my mom funny because see, my mom is a single mom that raised me, and we did not live in a housing development. We lived in projects. So my family and I grew up in the projects back in the day. The projects, which was called the bottom, literally. Man, why do you have to live in the projects and then also call it? It was actually Ridley Circle, but they called the whole community the bottom. Right. So we were actually as far down in the projects as we could be in life. And the projects was so different. It was more of a family style. All parents looked out for each other's children, pouring goodness into our children. There was also a few naysayers, of course. For me, the projects was an encouragement, determination, and determined to move out to make my life different for my children. And God saw the will. And my mom, that's my mom.
Yeah, that's amen. But you know what? She said something very key there. Now, you were able to be a success because you had a mom who had that strength and determination. But listen, in the words that she wrote, the community that you were called was called the bottom. Words have power.
Yeah. And our grocery store, guess what? The grocery store was called Below. I lived at the bottom and I stopped at Below.
Right.
That did something to me.
Right. I mean, it does. And so you had a mom who could make a difference. You had a mom who had the wherewithal, the strength, the determination, the faith to change your circumstances. Everyone doesn't have that. Sometimes there are some kids who have to be their own self-determination. You've seen those children, I've seen, and quite frankly, that doesn't matter where you live, right? It certainly doesn't, but it doesn't help that child if they're in a place called the bottom and they're in a place and they're going shopping at a place called Below.
That's right. That's right.
And so again, so that goes to wanting to change the stigma around the communities that we have and the families that we serve.
Well, thank you for addressing that. Cassandra says this is so encouraging. Allison says, hi, Kim Jacobs, watching you, of course, in support of your show. Thank you, Allison. Tell everybody you know to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show on YouTube. Just take a moment today, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and when we go live at 11 o'clock, you'll get notified. When you enjoy what you do, it's not work. It puts people at ease. to deal with you. And clearly, Cheron Porter enjoys what she does.
I do. Thank you. I do.
My friend has been trying to talk moving to Charlotte or Huntersville when many of them have left New York to move to. Yeah, a lot of people are leaving New York right now.
Lots of people in New York. Lots of people from Jersey, New York. Well, and here's the thing, and this is the other thing that sort of compounds the issue here. So you could have been in New York and say you had an apartment for $1,500, $16,000, $2,000 a month. Well, you come here and you can get an apartment of greater quality for maybe, well, now probably $1,500 a month, but it's still a greater quality. But you have people who make a lot of money who say, you know, I can downsize. I can get a much bigger house, or I can make a much bigger apartment. I can downsize. Well, what that does for families who don't have the option to upsize, get squeezed out, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does.
I was paying $1,200. Well, now I can pay $800. What about that family who can only afford $800?
Right.
Right. So the influx of people with resources also kicks people out of the opportunity for housing that they can afford.
Wow.
So it's a very complex issue, but it's coming from every side here, and we're doing our best to see what we can do to help the families.
Well, you have been just a wonderful guest, and I am so glad to have a co-JMU grad on today. It's just been a tremendous joy and privilege to have you on today's episode.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Kim. I've just enjoyed being here. Everyone has told me how wonderful it is to be a guest on this show. So I'm grateful for this opportunity. Thank you again. I really do. And yes, go Dukes.
Go Dukes. And make sure you invite more guests to share their stories, and just give my email. If any of you all that are watching have a story that you like to share as well, please make sure you email me, kim@thebalancedoctor.tv, and make sure that you share your information to be a potential guest on the show. Also, I want to make sure I let you know that every day, Monday through Friday at 12, yeah, here you go, Kim at the Balanced Doctor. You're so on it, Morgan. I love it. Kim at thebalancedoctor.tv to share show ideas. If it's a show that you want to see, then just share the information, and we'll make sure we bring a guest on to speak about that specific topic. If it's an issue for you, it's an issue for other people. So make sure you know that. And every day, Monday through Friday, every weekday, Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:30, we have the Quest Church prayer line. Pastor Jacobs is praying for people doing all types of situations with this COVID-19. 978-990-5000. Access code is 322083#. Make sure you know that you can tune in just to hear prayer Monday through Friday for 30 minutes. And the final thing I'll say, and I'm going to make sure that Cheron gets to share the closing comments, is if you'd like to support and partner with the Kim Jacobs Show, make sure you know that you can send any amount. Any amount helps me be able to have this as my livelihood and to be able to support my team of people that work behind the scenes with me. You can cash app any amount that you choose to Kim Jacobs Inc. and paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. And that gives you just an opportunity to partner with the show and show your support for hopefully how we're blessing the community. So Cheron, tell me two things. What's next for INLIVIAN? And what's the next big thing that's going to be happening? And then any closing comments. I want to make sure I didn't leave anybody out that's in my studio audience. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think everybody's been saying this is so encouraging, is what Cassandra shared. That was a big to do. So
wonderful. What's next for us is source of income discrimination. So people can, in the state of North Carolina, you could actually be rejected or discriminated against for your source of income. So that means if you've got, being a college student, if you had Pell Grant and that was part of the money you needed that you could show as income to pay your rent.
Right.
If you got alimony, if you got child support, if you've got a Section 8 voucher, there are people who say, I can refuse. I don't want that as rent. And so what that does, yes, they can. It's legal.
Oh, God.
Right. And so for us, no discrimination is acceptable. Right. And so when you have a family, again, when we talk about what's going on, what we see in our community, we have people who are losing jobs. Like I said, we have seniors, we have veterans, we have people who need help. in this fast growing city.
And it could be for any reason. It's not that it's just that you're deciding that I don't want to work with that person because I think that they're low income. What?
Right. Yeah. That's there again, that's that stigma. That's the stigma that we've been talking about. That if you have this sort of rental subsidy, somehow that has attached to your character. Your needing support or help has somehow been a negative to your character. And the reality is no one has gotten anywhere in life without some help.
No.
And because you need this help is no different from you or I or anyone else needing some other help. And so, yeah, so we are, especially in this, we're facing 2 pandemics right now, right?
Yes.
And so when you throw this on top of when people need a place to live and maybe they're lost some income, whatever the case may be, but as they're trying to find stability for their family, someone has the right to say, I don't want to do that. That's next up for us. You'll see some stuff on social media. We've got a commercial coming out. We've got about 30 partners who are really behind this effort and really trying to get policies changed to help our families.
Please air that commercial. Send it to the Kim Jacobs show because that's important.
I will definitely do that. So that'll be coming out in the next few weeks for sure. So for us again, and then also we're going to see more from our I Am INLIVIAN series, #I Am INLIVIAN. And that is just highlighting people who are doing amazing things in our community today who lived in our communities. And so again, we're all about reducing and changing the stigma, undoing those stereotypes that keep our families back.
#INLIVIAN. I typed that. I know Morgan's like, I could have typed that, Kim. INLIVIAN. Make sure you guys use this hashtag today and beyond. #INLIVIAN. Get it out there and let people know that they are working to reverse any discrimination for people's housing. And Tina Vick said that is so wrong. We have to keep fighting for justice. Allison said you'd be surprised at what is used in discriminatory practices in housing. It's the vicious cycle that keeps many unable to move forward. Guys, go to INLIVIAN.com. I've gone over the time today because she's a JMU. She's a JMU grad, so and I can, right? It's not like it's so sad. So since you were a JMU sister of mine, I appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. I so appreciate it.
And so since I kept getting housing project and housing development wrong so many times, I guess I had to go a few more minutes.
And I apologize for that. But again, our passion and my passion for creating opportunities for our families, I want our families to have those opportunities. And I try to, and maybe I'm a little oversensitive to it. I don't want anything negatively attached to them. So again, I apologize, but that's where it comes from, truly.
I am so grateful. I'm so grateful that God has given you the passion that he has, because anybody that encounters you, or I'm sure your CEO and the board of directors, or any of the life coaches at INLIVIAN, they're going to have a tremendous experience. So I'm excited to be able to refer some people to the program.
Thank you. Please do.
I'm very excited for everything that you guys are doing in the Charlotte area to redefine the Charlotte Housing Authority and the stigma associated with living in lower income housing, how beautiful their experience is going to be. So thank you, Cheron.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Now stay on the back office. I'm going to talk to you some more, but I just want to say thank you all today, everyone, for tuning into the Kim Jacobs Show. You are a great studio audience. The show is not the same without you guys. I know there are other shows out there that you could be tuned into, but I am grateful that you tuned into the Kim Jacobs Show today. And thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications. God bless you all and see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I have a person coming on that's going to be talking about the importance of branding, how to brand yourself and how you can go about doing that. And he's an expert in this field. So join me tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. God bless you all and have a great day. Tune in tomorrow.